Hi guys, welcome to today's SetrocJC channel daily video. As usual, if you enjoy the content, please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment below. Now strap yourselves in, let's get on with today's daily topic. Today's daily topic is the driving test. So settle down and listen, because I was fortunate enough to do 2 driving tests. So like most people, I started to drive when I was 17. Shortly after my 17th birthday, I started getting lessons. Yeah, I think I had about 15 lessons and then I booked my first test. So the first test comes along and every instructor college seems to have one person that you don't want to do the test, do they? The examiner. The examiner that fails everybody. The examiner that flipping you want to avoid right to play because he never passes anyone. Everyone's got a bad luck story and they all involve this examiner. So unfortunately I had him for my first test. I was confident on my first test. I thought I had a good chance. I was like everybody. I'm a boy, I think I'm good at driving. I turned up, I was probably a bit overconfident, a bit cocky. I just thought I'd breeze through it, but little did I know that that was not going to be the case. So my first mistake was to book the driving test first thing in the morning. I think it was at 9 o'clock on about a Wednesday or a Thursday morning. And never book your test early in the morning because no one's interested in giving way. Everyone's in a hurry. No one cares about other motorists, especially learner drivers. All they want to do is get right up behind them, try and speed them up. You've got no chance. No one respects a learner driver at the best of times, let alone first thing in the morning, the rush hour. That's got to be one of the most nerve-wracking waits there is, waiting in the test centre, waiting to see who you've got, which of the examiners you got, whether you got the good one or the one that never passes anybody. And I was mortified. I saw this bloke come out and I thought, he's bound to be the one that don't pass anybody, and he was. He looked like he'd never seen a happy day in his life. He looked like he was already having a bad day. But I thought to myself, that don't matter. I'm going to be the one that breaks the trend. I'm going to be the one that can break this man and get him to pass me. I'm going to prove everyone else wrong. So we left the examiner's office just after 9. And all I was worried about was the first corner, because it was quite a sharp corner. And I didn't want to cross the line in the middle of the road. So I knew that would be an instant fail. So I'm thinking, I hope he tells me to turn left. I hope he tells me to turn left, because that's an easier one than right. Because if he asks me to turn right, it means I've got to worry about 2 lanes of traffic. I've got to worry about the people coming up the road and the people coming down. So turn left, I'm thinking. And what does he say? Turn right. So we carry on down the road and it's all going quite well. It's all going quite well really. I'm quite happy with it. And we go off into some estate somewhere and I'm thinking, right, now we're going to do some manoeuvres. But now he says, right, so we do the emergency stop, which I managed, but he decided to do the emergency stop on one of the steepest hills you've ever seen, which is good because it's easy to stop. It was an uphill gradient, so it was easy to stop. So I stopped, and then he said, right, do a hill start. So I started doing this hill start and my flipping legs were shaking and my feet have never been shaking so much. So I try and do this start and I stall it, don't I? I flipping stall it, I can't believe it. I'm flipping into my test and I've stalled the engine. I'm thinking, oh, it's over. But so I stop it, I put the handbrake on, then I start the car up again. And I'll take a deep breath and I think, right, I'm going to do it this time. Get the bite on the clutch, pull it away, and then I'll stall it again. I'm flipping out, I've only done it again. I couldn't believe it, I was mortified. So I'm flipping out, I've got no chance now. So I'm going to put the handbrake on, try it again. This time I stall it, and even worse, I roll back about a foot as well. The driving instructor actually physically have to stop the car from moving because I was rolling backwards. That's an instant fail, I'm thinking. I'm mucked this one up already. I've already failed. I'm only halfway through the test. I think in the end, the driving instructor actually had to pull away from me because I was so demoralised. My feet were shaking. I was flipping in bits after stalling it a couple of times and rolling back. I knew it was all over. So we carried on down the road, and then it was time to do the next manoeuvres, the reversing manoeuvres. So I was having to reverse around this corner, and by this stage I knew I'd failed, but I thought, well, I've got to try and put on a good show. I'll try and show the bloke that I'm not a total flipping waste of space. So I'm reversing around this corner. Now, unbeknownst to me, my driving instructor hadn't taught me how to reverse around a corner properly. I don't know how this never came up when I was practising. but I basically reversed around this corner just using my mirrors. I never looked over my shoulder once. The instructor was sat there next to me, flipping, fidgeting around, looking over all his shoulders in a right panic. And I'm sat there thinking, what's wrong with him? Has he got some sort of nervous disposition or something? Because I was basically reversing around this corner, around the blind corner, just using my mirrors. Anyone could have been coming at the sides or anything. I wouldn't have seen it. I wasn't looking over my shoulder. So I done it. I think I got the manoeuvre in there alright, but because I never looked over my shoulder, that was another instant fail on the book. The driving examiner was looking like I'm flipping the worst driver in the world. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. So then we get to the other manoeuvre, the reverse into a parking space manoeuvre. I'm the same, I'm not looking over my shoulder. I've never been taught to look over my shoulder. I don't know what all the fuss is about. He's there flapping around again, looking over his shoulder, left, right. He's got a sweat on. He wonders what I've been taught. I don't know what's going on. I'm just looking at my mirrors. So I managed to get it in there again, which is a bit of a relief, even though even though I'd failed anyway because I wasn't looking over my shoulders. We get back to the car park in the examiner block. I've finished my test. I knew I'd fail because if I hadn't failed, then surely no one flipping failed because I must have made more mistakes than anyone. I knew full well I hadn't passed. The worst thing is he got us out of the car and he looks over at my driving instructor and he just basically shook his head at him and he looked disgusted at him, and my driving instructor was wondering what was going on. He had a quick chat with him and the driving instructor comes over to the car and he ain't happy with me. He's been made a fool of. I think the examiner must have said to him, this bloke's nowhere near ready for his test. You've not even taught him how to reverse properly. What are you playing at? You shouldn't have brought him along. He's not ready yet. So he's in a grump with me, he's not happy. I don't know what to say to him. I don't know whether I should be telling him off for not teaching me the reverse, but I know I'd failed anyway from the hill start and the stalling and the rolling backwards. So I didn't want to bring it up anyway. I was quiet, hardly a word was spoken on the way back to my house. So that was test number 1 over with. That was a flipping disaster. So that was knocked my confidence really badly. So I ended up having about another 10 driving tests after that to get my confidence up, to learn to reverse properly. After that he decided to teach me properly, so I got that in the bag. In the next test I turned up at the examiner's office. Unfortunately I had the one that was a bit easier, the one that everyone said is really lenient compared to old misery boots. So fortunately I had him. And it went alright and I went on to pass, which was amazing, because the next week I had been told everyone that I was going to drive them to Butlins, which is about 100 miles away from my house, and there's another experience, trying to drive with a car full of people when you've only passed your test like the week before, 100 miles. That's another scary experience for you. So they're basically my test experiences. I've run really bad experience, but I couldn't blame the bloke for failing me. I would have failed me as well. I was flipping rubbish. So at least I haven't got a hard luck story or a hard done by story with regards to my first test. So let's talk some driving facts. I've got some facts here. So now they've brought in this theory test. I was fortunate enough to drive the year before the theory test come in. People that don't know what the theory test is, it's basically multiple choice tests, and I think there's some reaction tests on there as well. So basically you go along to do this, and apparently the pass mark for males is like 50%, but the pass mark for females is 49%, which is quite surprising. I would have thought females would have been better at that sort of thing. So the world record for failing the theory test is 960 times. Basically a Korean woman from Seoul failed. She took it every day from April 2005, and she failed the theory test that 960 times. And they don't let you do the real driving test until you pass the theory test. So it took her like 5 years to do that. And then it took her 10 goes to get her driving licence as well. But finally she passed. She passed in 2010, which is nice for her. I'm not sure it's nice for everyone else on the road, because I think she sounds like a bit of a flipping liability. She's either a really bad driver or a really good driver because of all the experience she's had. So I hope it's the latter, otherwise she's going to be causing carnage in Korea. So apparently the driving test pass rate is like 47%, which is probably about right, especially on my experience. I don't know many people who have passed it first time. Does it make you a better driver if you pass it first time? I don't know. I'm not sure I would have been. I was quite cocksure when I first took my test, and it knocked me back a peg or two really, and showed me what it was about. So in hindsight I'm quite relieved really that I didn't pass the first time. Maybe my driving experiences would have been different if I had, but who knows. Hope you enjoyed this content, guys. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment below. I'll catch you in the next video.